what really pisses me off, I'm not going to lie to you. When I see on the media people, certain celebrities such as Marlon Wayans, great man, great comedian, right? Has a lot of accolades, really enjoys and does his work. And the same thing about another black counterpart, Tracy Ellis Ross, right? Amazing black woman. When I see, I'm just going to focus on Marlon for a second. When I see a black man talking about another black man, Michael B. Jordan, right? And his accolades and his work ethic and things of that nature, I sometimes get really offended. I won't lie to you because some of these conversations can go very left very quickly. And I say that what Marlon was explaining on the Breakfast Club, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I saw it on TikTok and I was just like, I hold Marlon to a high regard, won't lie to you, because I don't see him in the public. I don't see him everywhere. I don't see him talking about certain people a lot, right? And when I see him in interviews, one specific interview he was talking about, he's just not a type of friend to show up, the way that other people would, or he would just take you out to a comedy club or something like that, or something of that manner. Like that's the first interview I saw him in. Other than that, I'm just like I haven't seen him in a lot of interviews. I just see his work, right? But the second interview, or maybe the second part of that first interview I saw, I'm not totally sure. He was explaining how Michael B. Jordan came out and was, I guess, butthurt about how somebody treated him when he was, in high school. And being that he was bullied for being the awkward kid, right? He should have just been grateful. This is in the words of Marlon Wayans, or Rand, sorry. Michael B. Jordan should have just been grateful for the opportunity to come back and stand uh, against his so-called foe or bully and show them that he's been doing well, right? Just regardless of what they said about him. Excuse me. Now, as a grown-ass man, you're saying how someone really should be taking disrespect, right? And saying how he should use that as fuel, the disrespect, the bullying. Remember that and internalize it. This is what Marlon said, and use it as fuel. I just want to understand to what extent do men stop using things as fuel and stop internalizing things, right? In order to, get to a better station in life. And I use better station intentionally in this society, right? Especially as black men. When does that stop? When does that cease? When does it start? When should it stop, right? And that's a personal thing. So why is it that a black man like himself who has been in the game for as long as he has, I'm talking and referring to Marlon, feel as though he had the right to say anything about another black man, Michael B. Jordan, doing what he did to stand up for himself, to maturity. Because what Michael B. Jordan did in that interview when he met the person who bullied him in high school or bullied him in elementary school, I'm not totally sure. He did that with so much decorum and so much respect. He didn't call the reporter out her name. He just said, I remember what you did to me. Yeah. And he reminded her, and she tried to downplay it, right? Just for, to call a long story short, right? So my question is, since black men are speaking on other black men and how they should carry themselves, to what extent should Michael have done something different? Right? He strength to a little boy. He strength to a little boy. I'm sorry. Right? And it begs the bigger question. As a black community, we like to talk about there's a time and place. So where the fuck is the time and where is the place? For real. I'm so tired of that bullshit. There's like this implicit policy of you should know when not to do this. So can we write it down? Is it written somewhere in the bylaws of being a black person? Where the fuck is this at? It's nowhere to be fucking found. That's what I fucking thought. Next topic. Tracy Ellis Ross, beautiful woman. I don't know what was exactly said in the interview where she talked about her dating younger men. I just recently came across this. She expressed how she dated younger men, and I guess they couldn't reach her standards, or they were just not as mature as she was, which is fine. Sometimes you definitely need to be equally yoked when you're dating somebody. It makes total sense. However, Corey H or Holcomb or whatever the fuck that nigga name is, came on and basically disrespected um, Tracy Ellis Ross for, her saying what she said and expressing her own personal experience as a black woman dating younger men and basically calling out her name, saying that, her womb and her, cookie box was basically dried up at this time and her good days are behind her, which is so uh, very, very, very evil to say, because you're basically speaking, trying to project onto her that her best days are behind her, and that's not true. Especially as a black woman, don't say that. Like, Corey, that's disrespectful. Maybe that's how you feel, but either way. But you speaking from your grown ass mouth, saying that this is what it is, and that's what it is basically, is so blatantly just disrespectful, especially coming from a black man. When do y'all get the unmitigated gall to speak on certain things that have nothing to do with you, but won't speak on certain topics that will elevate the black community or elevate black men that would align with your message? Like, I'm just trying to understand. Like, y'all talking about the bullshit that ain't got shit to do with you, right? Nobody mentioned your goddamn name. Nobody mentioned you in the interview. It's just y'all giving y'all sole opinion about shit that got shit to do with you. Like me giving my opinion right now, right? I'm just trying to understand, when does that stop? Like, when does that start? When does that stop? Right? And I guess it's never going to stop because people are always going to have something to say about X, Y, and Z that has nothing to do with them. They just feel as though they have the entitlement to speak on certain topics. Can we learn, even if we feel like we have the entitlement, know that our place is not to speak on certain topics? Like, when does that cease? Like, when does that not go through y'all head? Or like, when does, like, you when do y'all stop feeling comfortable speaking on other people's lives as if you know them personally? And even if you do know them personally, why do you feel like you get to speak on that as if like you were their judge and their jury? Like, that's too much. As a black community, we act as though individually in certain topics we are judge and jury for certain people, whether we know them, especially if we don't know them. Can we please get that shit together? This goes beyond just being discerning, right? And understanding that certain things just take more discernment, that, to get a better judgment and better response and better outcome for oneself personally, based upon their personal and individual response to certain things. But as, a collective, it seems as though, especially black men, have a tendency to speak on topics, speak on individuals, black men and black women alike, and reprimand them if they don't do certain things a certain way, if they don't speak a certain way or talk about themselves in a certain way, right? It's like we already have that with the white community, right? Which we're learning to dismantle day by day, thanks to, you know, pivotal that we have in our community throughout multiple uh forms or just forms of, expression. But my question is, to leave you with something, what is it going to take? Like, what is it? Where is this? Like, for real? Like, goddamn.